Alright guys, welcome back to Tucked In Wizards. Today's episode we're just going to cover the last couple Summer League games, just kind of give our thoughts about Team USA, just kind of what's going on around the basketball world. My name is Aidan and I'm here with Ben.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, congratulations to the Memphis Grizzlies. They are heading to the Summer League Championship game with their win by 1 point over the Clippers, and then the Warriors and Heat are playing right now for their second thing, so we don't know who's. The Warriors is kind of funny. I'm just kind of jumping right in. We'll talk about the Wizards in a second. But the Warriors are kind of funny because like their Summer League team is like Pods and Trace Jackson Davis. And it's like those guys are like big contributors on their actual team. They're not playing in this game in the Summer League Finals, which kind of tells you how people treat Summer League. Kevin Knox is playing though in this game,
Nice.
so that's fun. But yeah, into the Wizards. Do you want to talk about Game 4 a little bit? So we kind of skipped Game 4 and 5 since we kind of went over everything I think we wanted to talk about in the first 3 games. But I don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of what we saw in games 4 and 5 were a little repetitive and kind of like already showing things we had seen throughout the first couple games. There's only so much you can learn from Summer League as it is. But since I watched Game 4, I'll talk about a couple of the things I saw that I liked. The main thing I saw that I liked was that Sarr was really controlling the glass well. He didn't score well. He was like 1 for 6 or something, I want to say. So it wasn't like 0 for 15 like it was the night before.
Yeah.
And I think he had like 11, 12 rebounds, and I think 6 of those were offensive. And he was really good. He was everywhere. When he wasn't getting the rebound, he was tipping it to a teammate or at least trying to do it. I think part of that is the Kings didn't really have like a huge guy that was there to box him out like some of the other teams had with like Orlando Robinson and those types of guys.
Right.
So he kind of was able to do what he wanted as the tallest guy in the court, which is always nice. But it's always nice to see those types of things. Defense was there as usual. Bub didn't have as good of a game 4. I know he bounced back in game 5.
15.
But he's still solid. He like played okay. He didn't score amazingly, but he got points up. He wasn't super efficient, but that's fine. And his defense looked good. He found ways to contribute to the team. But besides that, there wasn't much that I saw that was really standing out to me from Game 4. That almost there were like a couple really cool plays from some of the young guys, but just Summer League stuff.
Yeah, it's Summer League stuff. And I kind of want to talk about Sarr and Bub specifically. Obviously, Keontae George is also a first-round pick, but you could see how he's going to kind of fit into this Wizards roster. Did I say Keontae?
George?
Yeah, I wish we had Keontae George. No, Keyshawn George.
Yeah.
You can kind of see how he's going to fit in this roster. But I kind of want to talk about Sarr because, we kind of talked – Sarr's a very controversial topic right now. I think it's because of the pre-draft stuff and the fact that he – like, we knew he was raw offensively. He looked much rawer than even I thought he could offensively. And I still don't think that takes away from him as a prospect just because of the potential on the defensive end. But I want to ask you, like, how you see Sarr kind of fitting in when the Wizards actually open the NBA season, because he likely won't be playing. He definitely won't be playing center. So I wonder if we'll see like a shift. He probably won't be taking as many shots, but we'll see kind of his impact. I was kind of wondering what you think his impact is going to be.
I think Game 4 is actually a good indicator of what I think he's going to be able to contribute into the NBA immediately, where like he's not really scoring much, but he's not taking many shots. He only took 6 shots that game. That's probably maybe even going to be less some games in the NBA. But he was rebounding. His defensive presence was there. He's not going to need to rebound as much since I assume he's going to be playing the 4.
Yeah, they're going to have
He's definitely going to start. Yeah, Valanciunas. The main thing to me that was concerning was conditioning. There was like a report that he needed oxygen on the bench during one game or something, and he visibly looked super gassed out there. But there's a couple of months until the NBA, so he gets some time to work on that. And even if he doesn't, he can. You hope he does, but you can play yourself into shape. That's what Luka and Jokic did for years. But I want to see him kind of take on some of that conditioning challenge immediately, and maybe aim for close to 30 minutes a game if he can. But I imagine when he starts, he's going to be looking at like 15 to 20 a game as he gets his body ready for the NBA. And definitely at the 4. But I'm not expecting much out of Sarr this year. I've been very vocal this whole time about being like, if he has anything offensively, it's a plus.
Right.
So, it's raw. You'd hope he looked better. Like, I mean, last year we were a lot more hopeful looking at Bilal because he had a great summer league and translated that immediately to the league. But that's not going to be every young prospect. So,
No.
I'm happy with giving him some time for sure.
And I want to remind, even with Bub too, because obviously he's been super inefficient throughout the entire summer league, but obviously a lot of people still are high on him for a good reason too. I mean, he's a great rebounder for his size as a guard. But I want to remind Wizards fans, this is going to be a long process. This is year 2, but basically year 1 of the rebuild. Like, we're not looking at a competitive team at least for the next 3 or 4 years, and then we're looking at maybe like play-in low playoffs. Like, we don't even have a franchise player yet. And I know Dawkins and Winger went to this draft thinking they weren't going to get a franchise player because, as everyone was saying, weak draft. So they had to be, a little realistic about that. Maybe Bub is the player, whatever. I don't know. But I don't know. So many people are calling Sar a bust already. It's just, you got to give these people time. You can't base it all on that.
I saw somebody, I can't remember if it was on Reddit or Twitter where I saw it, but somebody was linked a video of Bam Adebayo's summer league. And obviously, whenever you compare players like this, people are like, oh, but Sar's summer league was so much worse. And it's like, yeah, okay. It doesn't matter as much. But Bam looked just as rough in summer league as Sar did. He really had no offensive game. He looked okay defensively. And it's like, sometimes you gotta give these guys time. And like you said, it's like, maybe we don't find our franchise player in this draft, and that's okay. Maybe we get number 1 next year. We get Cooper Flag, or maybe we get,
or we get one in
Boozer,
2026.
really good. Yeah, exactly. Like you said, this is gonna be a really long process. We're in year 2 of probably a 7 to 8 year process because
to competitiveness.
To be like a contender. Because unfortunately, and that's being optimistic. Because unfortunately, unlike the Thunder, we didn't have a huge asset to trade away immediately. Beal really didn't get us that much. In terms of future assets, so we're kind of starting from the basement. So as it is, kind of, I don't
still
really
on step
know
1 of finding franchise player.
Yeah, so even if we don't find anything good this draft, we got to kick the bucket down the road a little more and trade someone for first rounders down the road. That's tanking. I mean, we wanted it. This is what happens. But I'm personally optimistic. I think one of these players we drafted this year is going to turn out to be a very good player. And at least these swings have shown me that our front office understands what to prioritize in a winning player. So that at least is hopeful. Yeah,
we kind of talked about this a while ago. And if you haven't noticed this, it's kind of a waffling episode. We're just going to be talking about basketball. But we kind of talked about the small guard duo. And how it's not like a successful team building thing, and we kind of saw that with Wall and Beal. Obviously, they're a little bit bigger than the guards I'm more talking about the small guards like Dame and CJ, or when the Cavs had Garland and Sexton, and now Garland and Mitchell. So it is cool to see the front office really prioritize size, especially at the guard position, because Bub is like 6'5", so
yeah. And Keyshawn's like 6'8" as a wing.
Yeah, so
big wingspan.
And Bilal, he grew in the offseason, right? So he's even taller. And there's no Sar might do that too. We don't really know.
No, that's the thing. People are making like super definitive statements about Sar and Bub and all these players, and it's like maybe Bub's a bust and Sar's an all-star.
Yeah, it's like
all-star and Sar's a bust. Nobody knows. It's
maybe
like,
Bub's game doesn't translate at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of want to talk about Bub a little bit in his role coming into the NBA, because obviously he was super efficient in summer league, and he's gonna have the freedom, I think, with the Wizards to really play his game and take a lot of shots. But I saw people saying he's gonna be starting right away. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be a guy who's gonna kind of help lead the second unit. I think that's gonna be his role in the first year.
I'm not sure he's even gonna be able to do that.
It'll probably be Jordan Poole and him, I would think.
Yeah. I would imagine, but it's like, there is a world where Brogdon is still on the roster in the fall.
I think that world is very realistic. I think
I think so too. So it's like, then where does Bub really fit in? Does he play off ball? Jordan?
I think he can play off ball.
I think he can too, but it's like, who are they gonna play him? Are they gonna play like Jules Bernard? Like it's kind of really up in the air, the roster spots. But I think Bub definitely proved enough this summer league where I would want him to be put in that position, and I think our front office will.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't see him anything more than a starter. This early, like maybe year 2, year 3, he can look at being a starter. I don't. He's just a backup right now, I think, and that's not a bad thing. That's great for a rookie.
And it's very possible that we trade Brogdon halfway through the year and Carrington becomes the starting point guard. Kind of similar to what the Jazz did last year with Keontae George, where I don't remember who it was before. It might have been Chris Dunn. But they kind of moved Keontae George into that starting point guard spot as we went through the year. I think that's what we're going to kind of see with Bub. And I also, I'm going back to the Denny trade because Bub is literally directly from that trade.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny seeing the takes then as the takes now. Again, we're 4 days into Summer League. But right now it's looking like a fantastic trade. Like, you basically trade Denny for Bub, which for the spot the Wizards are at, I think is really good. And then obviously you got the future asset. So
and Brogdon.
And Brogdon, right. So it's looking like a good trade. Like I said, you always want to trade someone at peak value. Do you want to talk about some of like the G League guys? Any G League guys impressed you that played in Summer League this year?
I mean, I was really impressed with Jules Bernard for sure. He wasn't always the highest scoring, but he played within his role really well, I thought. He didn't pass super well some of the games, but not everybody can do everything in the Summer League with these guys.
A true scorer.
And I really liked Julian Champagny too, or Justin Champagny, whichever Champagny twin
Justin,
it is.
yeah.
Justin, yeah. I always get them confused. But I think he'll definitely have a place in our roster. Maybe as a backup, maybe as a third guy, maybe as a G League guy, but he played so well that it's hard to imagine.
For sure.
I don't know. I really liked those guys. I was impressed with a few people on the roster. I know Funk did well in the last game. I still was not super impressed with Funk.
Funk did amazing. Funk was. This is a funny stat line because
well.
he was 8 for 18 and then 8 for 16 from 3. So all of his shots came from. All of his makes were from 3.
I mean, it's just classic Summer League stuff. The random guy goes off.
Yeah.
It's like,
so
you can't read too much into that.
So currently, right now, the Wizards have 2 of their 3 two-ways. It's Jules Bernard and it's Justin Champagny. Those are the 2 two-ways. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering, like, who... wait, wasn't Vuk on a 2-way? This might not be accurate.
He might have been on a 10-day. I don't... No, I think he was on a
I swore he was on
he was on a 2-way.
Well, then never mind. There's your 3. I was trying to see, like, maybe someone else gets a shot. The only other person I could see getting a 2-way shot would be Taylor Funk or John Butler. Because John Butler was decent. You could really see his size when he was playing. But, like, Tyler Robinson, Eric Stevenson, Marquise Noel, borderline NBA players, I think. And, that's not enough. It was kind of really funny that Eugene Omarui played 1 game and didn't play for the rest of Summer League. And the 1 game he was horrible. Same with Vuk. They were like, we've seen enough.
Awful. Yeah, exactly. That's probably, they're like, whatever, these guys aren't ready. Just get him in the lab and work on your fundamentals and stuff.
Also, it's funny, Ryan Rollins was on the Bucks and he played 8 minutes in the last game. I was watching the last game and I was like, is that Ryan Rollins?
That's funny. That was such a weird trade because it's like Ryan Rollins.
They just cut him for
never that good.
Stealing.
And PB&J was like, oh yeah, that too. I totally forgot about that. Oh my god. Damn. Meanwhile, Jonte Porter's banned from Europe.
Yeah.
Like, he can't play anywhere.
Don't talk about
he
Miles
Bridges. To come back. Yeah. Yeah, he posted some crazy stuff today where he was basically saying he didn't beat his wife, but then people were like,
yeah,
obviously did. He was like, it was fucked up. It was really fucked up.
Yeah.
Who was the one guy on the other team that impressed you the most this Summer League?
Just out of all the games?
Out of all the games you
Reed
saw.
Shepard, 100%.
Reed Shepard's a good one. Yeah.
Reed Shepard was like, he was one of the only dudes that I saw playing, and I was like, wow, this guy, you could legitimately see all-star potential watching in Summer League. And obviously it's Summer League, so you don't want to, like, react that much, but he just looks so poised.
No, I agree. He looked really, really ready. I liked Ricochet a lot, too. I thought those two definitely stood out to me, besides the guys like Cam Whitmore. Who, like, Cam Whitmore might be the guy that impressed me the most.
Cam Whitmore had a stinker the day after,
too. He did have a stinker, though.
It was like 1 for 15 or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's Summer
League, right?
It's hard to tell. It's Summer League. There have been some Summer League champions who have been nothing in the NBA. Some Summer League stinkers that have been all-stars.
Glenn Rice Jr. is Wizards Summer League legend. He won Summer League MVP and then didn't do anything.
Yes, sir. It's so funny seeing everyone every year go, it's just Summer League, can't overreact. And people are like, well, this guy, this time it's special.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's Summer League, man. You just cannot overreact.
Plus, you gotta see how they interact with, like so much of the NBA is, like, how you play your specific role on the team. And you have to, like, I remember, especially with, like, these pure scorers, like, Jules Bernard is a good example, where there's such a difference between, like, the star scorer, and then it drops to, like, the sixth man, and then it drops to, like, out of the league. Like, if you don't fit into one of those two categories, especially as, like, a pure scorer in your role, you're just not going to make it.
Yep.
So it's all about what role you play.
It's very unforgiving, the NBA. And definitely some roles are a lot more useful than others. Like
the Johnny Davis role.
With Sar. No matter what happens with Sar, like having a big guy that can defend is always going to be kind of nice.
Defend the
like,
perimeter, especially.
Exactly. And like, I mean, there's a lot of big guys that can defend really well that don't have any offensive game. Like, Rudy Gobert is just discovering how to shoot fadeaways and like step backs, and it's like inside 8 feet.
That was so
like,
silly.
This is something you should be doing normally as a 7'3" guy. You know, just shoot over someone. But I mean, so
it's all a learning process. I'm excited to see what
bright future.
What the future of these three guys.
Yep.
Oh, we are lagging hard.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah, you've been cutting in and out all episode for me.
That's unfortunate.
It'll be fine on the recording though.
It'll be fine. You had something?
I was just gonna say, I just want to talk about Team USA a little bit.
Oh yeah, Team USA.
Yesterday especially, how the game against South Sudan really impressed me.
They were 43-point underdogs, South Sudan.
Yeah, and they were up like 21 at one point. Like they were up heavy on the NBA, or sorry, on Team USA.
It's basically the NBA.
Basically the NBA, but I mean it's Team USA, so they ended up winning off the back of
LeBron James.
I'm
glad to finally be rooting for a lot of these guys. Like we talked about, like, you know, we're all like, I feel like we usually root. Okay, I'm not gonna say we. I'm gonna say I usually root for the underdog because I know you rooted for the Nuggets and Celtics on their run.
Hey. I'm allowed.
It's understandable. It's understandable.
I'm from New England.
And live in Denver.
Yep.
At this specific address, though. But it is a lot of fun because I usually don't root for these guys when they're playing, to root for them now, like LeBron, and although I did root for LeBron a lot, but like Steph Curry especially, Joel Embiid, like those guys.
Yeah, for sure. Team USA is a lot of the players that I usually root against, because I usually root for the underdog a lot of the times. Like,
Tatum's
I'm an
another guy.
NBA fan first of all, so I'm always gonna watch like all the games I can, especially every playoff game. So I always have opinions about like, oh, I want this team to win versus this team, and most of the time it's like, oh, I'd rather have the underdog beat the, established team because that's just more fun. So it is nice to be able to root for all these guys, especially all at once. And it's cool to see how all the games interact so well. Like some of these lineups that they're running, you'd never think it would be able to work, but it's crazy. Like Bam Adebayo with AD, just that combo together. It's like, it seems you can see how it could work, but it's like, is it really that good? And then you see it in action.
You're like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It was funny when they were running the Overwatch GOATs lineup where they had the 3 guards and 2 centers. They just had no wings.
No, I fucking hate that lineup. That's the lineup that always gets
us down. This cursed Scott Brooks lineup.
Steve Kerr cannot make lineups. I get what Warriors fans been complaining about. Like, this dude throws the weirdest people out there when it's like, there's like 9 lineups that you should just do.
Yeah, these are like the 10 greatest players in the NBA. Just put something together that actually fits. It's not hard.
Not Drew Holiday, Derek White, and Devin Booker. Like, thank you.
It always gave me flashbacks, and we talk about this so much, but like Westbrook, Neto, Ish Smith, with like Robin Lopez in the middle. I was like, how did this team make the playoffs?
Robin Lopez and at the 4 with Alex Len at 5. What the fuck is going on right now? What am I watching?
Scott Brooks was a mastermind beyond.
And then they pass it to Lopez. He scores 10 in a row and hook shots, and we still lose the game.
I'm still gonna make that video of just Robin Lopez hitting hook shots constantly.
It's so good. I wish he was still in the league. I wish he could find.
I think he is. I don't think he just doesn't play that much.
I'm pretty sure he retired. He was on the Bucks. They cut him, and then he showed up to the
Robin.
game reading the book. Remember, like watching his brother, and he was reading. And then I think after that he was like, "Yeah, I'm done." Which was like, I mean,
Well,
he had a
yeah,
great
he's. I don't
career.
think has he officially retired. I think he's just a free agent. But I guess maybe
I thought I saw something. Let me
he
take
was
a
waived by the
look.
Kings.
Let me see.
But I'm excited
Oh,
for
yeah, he's a
this
free agent.
season to actually start too. I know we're like a ways away. So before that, we're
a
gonna do
long ways away.
some player personnels on the new Wizards, which you know you got the 3 rookies and you got Valanciunas and Brogdon. I think that's it in terms of new Wizards. I think everyone
I
else
think
is
so.
gonna be back.
Yeah, they'll probably
Am I
be
missing
around this length, about 20 minutes each, just covering a little bit about each player. And we're planning on having tentatively a couple guests for some of those episodes.
Hopefully
so
soon. Yeah.
it should be pretty fun.
I'm excited. Summer League was a lot of fun to watch. I'll be watching the finals on Monday. We're not gonna make a video about that because, of course, the Wizards are not in it. But I'll be watching the Summer League finals. Let me know what your thoughts about the Summer League. I know we had a lot of people with their thoughts about SAR, so I'm interested to hear overall Summer League thoughts. And you can add some SAR stuff in there as well. I know he's very polarizing right now, especially with some of his offensive performances. But you want to
Alright,
add?
guys. Thanks for watching. DG, take us out.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy DG. I'ma keep it short and sweet. Nothing major. We hitting the wizard bed tonight, baby. Let's get it, Gafford out.